My name's Gio Jimmy Wallhead, and today we're going to look at setting up the power double. Okay, so I like to set up my mid-range power double leg. Okay, just going to start just outside of kicking range, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my fakes, my punches to disguise my footwork in, so I can get a good level change and good penetration with my lead leg. Okay, so from this sort of range here, my first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to step and throw a fake jab to the body to disguise the step and to get him looking down. Okay, so here's my key points for the takedown. Very important that I make sure I disguise my step and closing the range with using my fake and my punches so they don't see me stepping in. I get a very good level change and deep penetration on that lead leg. As soon as I penetrate and hit hard with that shoulder, I'm going to run as hard as I can, ripping his legs out to the same side of my head, making sure we end up in a dominant position, either landing hard with my shoulder on his belly and in side control, or over the top of him and ready to inflict some ground and pound. My name's Gio Jimmy Wallhead. The technique we're going to do now, we're going to use a power double to drive our opponent to the cage. As soon as we get him on the cage, we're going to clasp our hands together and we're going to rip him out. So I've come in and hit my power double, but he's managed to get a bit of a sprawl off, and I'm going to find it hard to get him out from here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on running hard, not worry about ripping him out. I'm just going to run him and get his back on the cage. So when I ran him back to the cage, make sure my feet are still back driving into him. I don't want my feet like this because it takes the pressure off here. So feet back, shoulder spearing into his belly. As soon as he hits this cage, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to release my hands from the back of his knees. And before he can change level, I'm going to connect my hands underneath his glute, sort of the top of his hamstrings. Okay, I'm going to take a Gable grip, palm to palm. I'm going to pull it in towards my chest, and I'm going to pinch my elbows together, really controlling his hips and the top of his legs. From here, I'm really spearing him with my shoulder. My legs are back. I'm not in like this. My feet are back, really driving him into the cage and keeping him pinned there. All I'm going to do from here is I'm going to circle slightly away from my head, because if I'm here, try and put it from here, there's no space. So circle away from my head and get my knee behind his knee. Then all I'm going to do is I'm going to drive my hips and in one movement rip him off the cage. The reason I aim to do the technique like this and rip him away from the cage is because if you look at us now, I end up in a dominant position, side control, and I'm very, very far away from the cage. A lot of people do the technique and rip people out away from the cage, at the cage. Therefore, they land next to the cage, and they can use the cage to aid their get up, okay, and basically defeats the hard work you've just done. So when I'm ripping somebody out, always encourage people to try and turn them off the cage. Now I'm here on top in side control in the middle of the octagon, away from the cage, and now he's got a lot of work to do. My name's Gio Jimmy Wallhead. The technique we're going to do now is we're going to do a forklift defense, to where someone attacks us with a double leg. So the first element of this defense for myself is to make sure I get the catch. Okay, elbows in, and I'm going to catch him as he shoots for his double leg. It's very important I don't do it too soon, because obviously if I drop my arms too soon, I'm leaving my head open for punches. So my hands are up, and I think we're having a striking exchange. As he closes the range, I've got to time that level change. So as I see him level change, that's when I begin to go. And as he shoots, I push off my lead leg and get my underhooks here and catch. Keeping my elbows in, which is very important. If he manages to get his head in here, and I leave my left elbow out, I'm not as strong. And if he drives hard and steps to the outside with his right leg and drives his head up, before you know it, he's getting to my back. So now I've got my catch, okay? He's going to continue his drive. He's not just going to stop now in reality. So from here, as he drives hard, he's driving, I'm going to rotate my left leg around the back of me, and I'm going to drive my right arm towards the cage. Okay, making sure I get off this center line. Okay, so my left leg goes around the back, and I drive my right arm, using his momentum and clearing out the way of his head. Okay, so sometimes when I get the catch though, I might not feel confident in the turn. You may have a strong grip on my leg, there may be a reason I don't feel like I can get the turn off. Or I might just not have the space. Either way, before I know it, if he's driving hard, my back's going to hit the cage. You're going to drive, I've not got a turn, but my back's going to hit the cage. 9 times out of 10, if he's trying to keep me on the cage, his legs are going to be slightly back, driving in with his shoulder, yeah? All I'm going to do from here, because it leaves his belly exposed, I'm going to give him a nice hard knee to the belly. Then all I'm going to do from here is I'm going to jack him up and get my back off the cage. I don't want to try and lift him from here low. I don't want to try and bicep curl him. It's going to take a lot of energy, and it gives my hips, even though I've got underhooks, he may be able to snag something. So I'm going to, as I knee the belly, is I'm going to level change my arms to jack him up, get a nice tight grip, and then I'm going to circle out and bump him with my arm and turn off the cage.